And with that, we'll go ahead and call this meeting into session. And so the first item of business is to approve the agenda. We have no agenda changes, and so I'm looking for a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant.
Second.
Second by Mr. Destin. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. All right, in a rare event, I'm going to exercise some chairman's discretion and add an item to the agenda. And this will be the recognition of our friend and colleague, Mr. Tim Bryant, for his service as the Florida School Board Association president. And I want to say that's for the entire state of Florida. Presented by Ms. Andrea Messina, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Florida School Boards Association. As Ms. Messina approaches, let me just tell you a little about her. She began as the Executive Director on July the 1st, 2015. She's a former English teacher from Charlotte County. She was a school board member there and the FSBA Professional Development Coordinator, and she brings a multifaceted approach. She's been a friend of Okaloosa County, the Okaloosa County School Board, and all of the school boards in the state of Florida. Welcome, Ms. Messina.
Thank you. Could you hit pause on that one real quick? Perfect. First, I want to say, Tim, Mr. Bryant, Mr. President. I'm here today really to ensure that your board and your community know about the exceptional leadership that you brought to Florida all across the state as well as the nation. You brought a rare combination of vision and heart, and we really appreciate and we have learned so much by your just unwavering commitment that you brought. You never lost sight of the human element, and that's what makes our association so special. Under your leadership, we witnessed true compassion in action. You approached every challenge with tolerance and understanding, and you somehow managed to infuse even the most serious discussions with moments of fun that reminded us why we value our association. You actually had the courage to initiate what many of us knew was necessary, but few people were willing to tackle, and that is a fundamental reorganization of our executive officers. You did it knowing it wasn't going to be an easy path. You knew it would spark difficult conversations that would extend well beyond your term. But you also understood that sometimes leadership means making hard choices to ensure tomorrow's success. So as we move forward in those important discussions, we will carry on the foundation that you've built and the example that you've set. But above all, we're going to remember your unwavering commitment to making our association a safe haven, because that was the message that Tim carried. I don't know if you all know this, but he kept telling board members, this is a safe place. Ask your questions, get your information, consult your colleagues across the state. He really worked hard at making the association a safe place. So we have a kudo board for you, and Demetrius is going to kind of run through it here. We'll be giving this to you so that you and Beth can enjoy this tonight after the meeting. But members across the state have sent you messages of appreciation and congratulations, as well as photos from times that they've spent with you. You'll all notice the Capitol. That was a baseball game in St. Louis.
I was going to say Georgia, Florida game.
Oh, okay. Well, you know better than me. You can read all of these later, but you'll see that we have members from all across the state, the Panhandle down to the Keys, all of whom are expressing their appreciation for the work that you've done. Also a former Florida School Boards Association president. You can go a little quicker, Demetrius, for us.
Wow.
He's had some interesting times, he can tell you all, some stories as he goes along, but we've really initiated some fun activities because of Tim, including, not to be forgotten, the ugly sweater competition at Christmas. And as you can see from his Hawaiian garb in the bottom corner there, we had a luau once that he wanted us to have, and just such great appreciation for all that you've contributed over the last year. You've left an indelible mark, and you've left us a place where every member feels secure enough to ask the tough questions, voice their concerns, and engage authentically. So to memorialize, that's the first one again, so we'll pause it. To memorialize your service, sir, we have something we knew you'd enjoy, which is a Constitution of the United States of America book for your bookcase at home. But more importantly, it's a safe.
I thought it was this year's law book from.
Yeah, right.
So thank you, sir, for your service to the organization.
Can we get it? So, Miss Messina, Andrea. So we're going to do a picture real quick, but Dr. White, if it's okay, if I can address.
Oh, sure.
Okay. So obviously you're not here for the reason you told me. So, all right.
Surprise.
I just want to say, first of all, to my colleagues and my superintendent and our attorney, and to everybody within the Okaloosa County School District, how much I appreciate your support that I had over the past year. It was an incredible experience, and you get one chance to make an impact in an organization like this, and I am truly grateful that I feel like I did make an impact in a very positive way. So I will leave my term knowing that I did that. So, but I do want to say one thing about Andrea, a couple of things about Andrea actually, and I'm going to say Andrea because she's been like my sister, somebody that I've been able to reach out to and just confide in, and because she was a school board member at one time, she understands what it's like to be in our seat. So for her to be the executive director of our organization was just has just been the best thing that they ever did was hire her to be our executive director. And I'm proud to say that under my term, we extended her contract for 3 more years. So but Andrea, from the bottom of my heart, and I know Beth will say the same thing, we appreciate you and all that you have done for me and my term as president. Dr. Rice is sitting there, and he is new to the organization. But Dr. Rice, I do want to say to you, and we've had some great conversations in St. Louis, driving around the state, how much I've appreciated your impact that you've had in your short time with the organization. We're in good hands now that you're a part of it too. And to all of the staff at FSBA who have, they make our job so much easier. And to be able to do this role, you couldn't do without the support. So with that, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for the wonderful surprise too. I wasn't expecting that. And we are going to Washington, D.C. in a couple of weeks, so I guess I can take this with me and remind everybody. But can we get a picture with the superintendent?
Come on in. Come on in. Jeff, come on up here.
Mr. McGinnis, if you would stand, perfect. Thank you. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hang on.
We got Debbie.
Thanks, Debbie.
Y'all kept a pretty good secret there. I don't know, my wife was.
All right, colleagues, so moving forward with our agenda, we have no recognitions this evening, but we do have in Section 4 an administrative personnel appointment. 4.1 is the appointment of specialist for math curriculum and instruction recommended by the superintendent. Superintendent.
Thank you, Dr. White. School Board, I bring before you Dr. Delilah Lewis. Dr. Delilah Lewis is a lifelong educator with deep roots in Okaloosa County. A proud graduate of Baker School, she spent 36 years shaping young minds and supporting teachers across the district and across Florida and Georgia. Her journey in education began right here at home, and she's never looked back. Dr. Lewis's academic accomplishments include a bachelor's degree in elementary education, a master's in educational leadership, and a doctorate in curriculum and instruction with a focus on instructional technology from the University of West Florida. While in Georgia, she obtained a master's in early childhood education from the State University of West Georgia. And I keep hearing a lot of Georgia stuff, so I'm just hoping that you're not a Georgia
Go
fan.
Dogs.
That's all right. Throughout her career, Dr. Lewis has been recognized for her innovative teaching practices and her unwavering commitment to student success. She has led district-wide professional development initiatives, served as a mentor to early career teachers, and played a key role in designing and implementing curriculum aligned with state mathematics standards. Dr. Lewis.
All right, need a motion, colleagues.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant.
Second.
Second by Mr. Hindley. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Congratulations.
Superintendent Chambers and school board members, I am so honored to serve as the elementary math specialist for Okaloosa Schools. Thank you for your confidence in my ability to support our educators and our students in advancing mathematics achievement. Now in my 37th year in education, I've always believed that change should always lead to growth. Throughout my career, I've been fortunate to have the unwavering support of my husband, Clyde, who has always encouraged me to pursue every opportunity for growth. He remains my strongest advocate. However, my journey has not always been shaped by my personal effort, but also by the guidance and encouragement of administrators, colleagues, and mentors who have walked alongside me. And I have to say that my team showed up today. From the bottom of my heart. Knowing that this endeavor does require team effort, I am committed to working collaboratively with teachers, administrators, and families to ensure every student receives high-quality, engaging, and equitable math learning opportunities. Together, we can foster a culture of mathematical curiosity, confidence, and success. I look forward to supporting Okaloosa School District's instructional math goals, providing targeted professional learning, and implementing evidence-based strategies to enhance student outcomes, contributing to the continued excellence of Okaloosa's A+ rankings. Thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you.
She had a team, man.
Congratulations again, Clyde.
It's always fun to see everybody so excited.
Short.
If it's probably Clyde's today.
Get in the picture, so you gotta be able to see everybody now. Red orange, your eyes.
Spread up, like, go down, one person in the front row, stay put, second row,
on your switchback.
Oh, yeah,
Seems like it's working pretty good.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, right here, everybody. Smile. Shushing and smiling.
All right, and I can't, there you go. Can you stand that way? No, you're fine. Yes, keep going right there, and then, yeah, and then keep back that way a little bit. There you go, right there. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna take a bunch, so everybody just keep smiling. All right, let's see how good I am up here. You got it. Yeah, almost. There you go, one more. Perfect. Okay, that'll work.
Can you feel on making that switchback for me?
Well, we'll determine that once they get the roundabout going.
All right, folks, this is where I call a customary 2-minute recess for folks that may want to go to dinner or have travel or so forth. So we're in recess, 2 minutes.
Came along, and he's definitely there.
Where did he come from?
He was in the Air Force and all, but he, I think Florida A&M, he was working at Florida A&M.
That's right. So we'll go ahead and reconvene our business meeting, and that takes us to Section 5, Public Comment. And Ms. Mary, I don't think we have any public comment regarding agenda items tonight. Okay, good. So we'll move forward. Section 6, Committee and Staff Reports. We covered those in the workshop today, and that brings us to consent agenda. 7.1 is the approval of the consent agenda that we discussed today. So I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Heinley,
Second.
second by Mr. Destin. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. All right, friends, just slide way on down there to Section 8. And this will be the Superintendent's Human Resources recommendations. 8.1 and 8.2 are both information only. However, the rest are action items. 8.3, cleared certification requirements and issuance of contracts for the 25-26 school year, presented by Ms. Duron and recommended by Superintendent Chambers.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Destin,
Second.
second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 8.4, out-of-field report for the 25-26 school year, presented by Ms. Duron, Professional Services, and recommended by Superintendent Chambers.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
Second.
second by Mr. Heinley. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 8.5, addendum to the master contract between the School Board of Okaloosa County and the Okaloosa Education Staff Professionals, presented by Dr. Hale, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, and recommended by Superintendent Chambers.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Heinley,
Second.
second by Mr. Destin. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 8.6, employment separations, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by Superintendent Chambers.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
Second.
second by Mr. Destin. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 8.7, personnel recommendations, again by Dr. Hale, Assistant Superintendent, and recommended by Superintendent Chambers.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
Second.
second by Mr. Heinley. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 8.8, employee transfers presented by Dr. Hale, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, and recommended by Superintendent Chambers.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Destin,
Second.
second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 8.9, employee suspension presented by Dr. Hale, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, and recommended by Superintendent Chambers.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Heinley,
Second.
second by Mr. Destin. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. And then 8.10, employee suspension presented by Dr. Hale, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, and recommended by Superintendent Chambers.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Destin,
Second.
second by Mr. Heinley. Any discussion? There's not, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. There are no items on discussion. That takes us to Section 10, Program Owners Representatives for Construction. And 10.1 is a status report, but I think we'll receive that next meeting. Is that right?
You're correct, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Mr. Heinley. And then 10.2 is an action item. Program number 6, task order number 43, Okaloosa Technical College North Interior Renovation Project, revision of attachment 4 of the GMP, presented by Dr. Smith, Facilities Planning, and recommended by Superintendent Chambers.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Heinley,
Second.
second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Mr. Attorney, your business.
No report tonight.
Thank you, sir. Superintendent, anything further?
Nothing further in terms of information. As you know, we had a healthy discussion today. I would say to Mr. Bryant to have Andrea come all this way to present that to you, I think says a lot in it of itself. But you represented this school district, this board so well. And one thing I'd say to each of the board members is every time that we're at conferences or any time I have meetings with Mr. Bryant, it's about the school board, it's about Okaloosa County, and just the selflessness in which you've led here and at the state level, I just think is fantastic. Just wanted to say that, so thank you.
Thank you.
And certainly I would second that, and I would also say, and I've been associated with this school district and thereby school board for a long, long time, and I don't remember that we've ever had a school board member from Okaloosa County serve as the president of the Florida School Boards Association, and so I thank you for that and appreciate everything that you did.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like
sir.
to say, too, that since being appointed, he convinced me to go down to the conferences, and it was like being with royalty, because you stepped in there, and Tim Bryant was the man. But you've been a mentor while I've been on this for the last year, and thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
And I'll echo the same thing. I'm a brand new school board member. I have a lot to learn, and you've taken me under your wing, and I deeply, deeply appreciate your leadership and your mentorship.
Thank you.
All right. All right, friends, so that now takes us to Superintendent. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, all right, takes us to board members' announcements. We had some today, but let's go ahead and go through it this evening. Mr. Heinley, anything?
No further report.
All right, Mr. Bryant?
So I do have a couple of things real quick. Mr. Chambers, everybody who kept this a secret, good job. Beth, now I know why you came tonight, so I appreciate you supporting me. But as much as I am humbled by your great comments to me, Dr. White, I would be remiss if I did not correct you, and not to be.
Yeah.
So we did have a distinguished board member at one time, Barbara Moore.
Oh.
So Barbara Moore was actually president of the Florida School Boards Association in 1986.
I stand
so I don't,
corrected.
So I do
well
not want to take
remember.
anything away from the Moore
No,
family, because they They live right across the street from me. So
Yeah. But that was a long
that was a
time
long
ago.
time ago. So,
So my memory
So-
failed me.
so I appreciate those comments, but I do want to give credit. And Barbara Moore, who's no longer with us, was a great school board member, and she did serve as president. So
That's right. Thank you for that. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Destin, anything this evening?
No, I covered everything this morning. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Very good. And I think that takes us to the end of our agenda for public comment. And so I have several cards here. And so these will be comments regarding items that are not on our agenda. And thereby, Mr. Attorney, correct me if necessary, I think they get 2 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Per person, and you have a timer over there?
Yes, sir.
And I'll just call them out in the order that they were given to me. This is Mr. John Stevens, I believe. Mr. Stevens. And Mr. Stevens is from Destin, and he wants to talk about boating education in all high schools. Welcome.
Welcome. Can I pass these out first?
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you, Jeff.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. Good evening, Chairman and Board. I'm John Stevens. I'm here to talk about boating safety and getting it involved in all of our high schools. Quick background, I'm a Choctaw alum, class of 98. Been in the livery and boat rental industry for over 20 years. Helped address rental boat issues in Okaloosa County, co-founded the Water Sports Coalition, created 3 waterway safety videos for local rental companies to use for free. Also served on the city council and currently sit on the Florida Boating Advisory Council appointed by Governor DeSantis. So pretty much what I did is I provide you guys with a work plan that I kind of put together. By no means is it set in stone. All it is just some ideas for you guys to consider. There's about 11 different ideas to do boating safety. Then I also provided you guys with the boat smart book, which is used as one form of boating education. Why this matters? As a parent of 3, being surrounded by water, boating safety is always on my mind. Students in some schools, like Crestview High School, they're able to receive this education thanks to Mr. Ernie Martin, who's taught this boating education for over 20 years. Using this boat smart book, his personal PowerPoint slides, weekly lessons. So by the end of the semester, these students earn their boating safety card. These students, they learn critical water safety, responsible boating, and environmental stewardship. Anyone born after January 1st, 1988, they must receive their boating safety certification to operate a boat in Florida. So what we're doing is we're setting them up for success. My fear with programs that are teacher-oriented, when the teacher leaves, usually the program leaves with them. I experienced this with Odyssey in Mind back in the day, and I just don't want to see something like this if we lose all of our teachers that do teach boating education. If you don't mind, can I have one more minute?
We have 4 others, and I'd have to give them all an extra minute too.
Okay.
Okay, so we normally stop it at that buzzer. I'm sorry for that.
No worries. Okay.
You
I appreciate
understand
it.
what?
Yes, sir. Thank
Okay,
you.
All right. Okay. All right. So we have 4 other individuals, and I'll call them out in the order that I received them. I think it's William Kiker from Fort Walton Beach, and he's here, and I'm going to let you speak to that, Mr. Kiker. I know you've been here many times, and so I think you're familiar with our rules. You know the 2-minute process, so all right, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, that's correct. I just wanted to come here to give some updates on NEO, where the former fellows are going and what direction this program is going in the future. So I'm going to be heading off to Dartmouth College in the fall. I'm going to start classes there September 15th. Genesis, of course, is still a student at the University of Florida. Declan is at Santa Fe right now. He's going to transfer into the University of Florida after receiving his associate's degree. So NEO is expanding, which I'm very happy about. Genesis and Declan are starting NEO in Gainesville. They're working with the Alachua County School Board to get that going. Whenever I move into Dartmouth in September, I'm going to be doing the same thing up in Grafton County, New Hampshire. And we're going to be expanding our presence online. We're going to be trying to get to various conferences of educators, trying to expand NEO as far and wide as we can get it. But here in Okaloosa County, what I'm really excited about is that we have 3 new students who are going to be carrying on doing the exact same work that me, Genesis, and Declan were doing last year. We presented me, Genesis, and Declan to 6 different schools. We weren't keeping an exact accounting of exactly how many students we got, but our best estimate is that it was somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 different students heard our NEO presentations. We think that this is incredibly valuable work. We think that giving students access to fentanyl education is helping to deal with one of the biggest crises that are facing our nation. Statistics came out which showed that the number of fentanyl overdose deaths dropped by 25% in 2024 or in 2023 compared to where they were in 2022. That trend looks to be continuing. We think that that's in large part because of advocacy efforts that are meaning that more and more people are hearing about the dangers of fentanyl. We want that to continue in Okaloosa County. And so I'm now going to turn it over to Matthew, who's going to introduce himself and his part, and then Asher and Reagan are going to do the exact same thing. So there you go.
Thank you, Mr. Packer.
Of course.
All right.
Can you tell us what NEO stands for?
Oh, yes. NEO stands for Not Even Once. It's a statewide, well, currently statewide, hopefully soon nationwide, anti-fentanyl organization.
Okay. All right, so the next yellow card that I have is for Mr. Matthew Moore. Welcome, Mr. Moore. As you may have already heard, my memory's failing me a little bit. So have you been before us?
No, sir, I have not.
Okay, all right. So there's a 2-minute rule, and within that 2 minutes, when you start, our attorney will start the timer, and you go for it.
All
Okay,
right.
so when you're ready.
Yes, sir, I'm ready. I just gotta say, what an honor it is to be here in front of you guys for the first time. My name is Matthew Moore, just as you just mentioned, and I'm a senior at Niceville High School. And last year, I heard Declan's, Williams, and Genesis presentation for the first time in the fourth quarter last year, and it was eye-opening because it wasn't like any other drug campaign like DARE or any other, program to denounce drugs. It was specifically about fentanyl. That it wasn't steering off into any other broad category, but no, strictly about fentanyl and the harm that is causing to our children, our adults, and all of America. It was truly eye-opening to hear the different stories and all the things that were involved in it. And so I have chosen the part for Declan, which is usually the first part. It's opening up to the audience, getting them engaged, talking with them a lot. And what I like about it so much is the engagement. You're really talking with the audience. It's so important that you can lay that foundation out for something that is so serious, but to open up with them and relate with them. And that's why I love the part so much. And I love being able to connect with people. And I think that's what we're destined for in life, to really connect and learn from stories about what we've went through and how we can choose to learn from that and ultimately grow. And so I'm so thankful to be invited by my former William, Genesis, and Declan to be a part of NEO, to spread that message for other youth and other teenagers in high school as well as me. Thank you.
Oh, perfect timing. Thank you. All right, so the next yellow card I have is from Asher Guillory. Hi, Ms. Asher. So I know you've heard me by now. It's 2 minutes, and we'll start the timer when you start.
Good evening. My name is Asher Guillory. I am a senior at Crestview High School, and I'm going to be taking over the middle part of Neo's speech. You might know that as William's speech. He just came over and told you a little bit about Neo, and now I'm going to tell you how I got involved with Neo. Originally, I heard about the dangers of fentanyl through HOSA. I competed in an event that was called a PSA, Public Service Announcement, where I learned the dangers of fentanyl, and my purpose was to educate others on the dangers of fentanyl. And after doing my research, I realized that this was an issue that didn't just affect my nation, but our very own communities. After the HOSA season was over, I realized I didn't want my research to end there, and I certainly didn't want my efforts or my advocacy to end there. So I started researching a little bit more and started writing speeches and essays where I presented and began to talk to Declan a little bit about Neo. I was like, hey, I know you run this anti-fentanyl campaign, and I'd really like to know more about it. And in this process, I was able to talk to William and Genesis and really get in touch with them and understand what it is they're doing for our communities and our school. And that is when I fell in love with the program itself, because I knew this is something that was so vital to our communities and just our whole school board and just everybody within our schooling system. It's so needed, and I knew that this is something that I definitely wanted to be a part of. So instantly I gravitated towards Kiker's part. He tends to be engaging as well as going into the facts. His part leads a little bit into Reagan's part, where she's able to tell the audience members about true stories from those who had been victims of fentanyl and opioid overdoses. And this is just such a vital part of education with those that are constantly dying. And we have seen a decrease in fentanyl deaths. And I believe that that is, like William said, a part of the advocacy and education. And if we didn't have these resources or education, I believe that these fentanyl deaths would not continue to decrease. Thank you.
Very good. All right, thank you. All right, and so I have one more yellow card from Reagan Everett. Hi, Miss Reagan. And I know you've heard me too, about the 2 minutes. So.
I promise I'm prepared, I just didn't want to.
Okay, all right.
Hello, my name is Reagan Matera Everett. I go to Fort Walton Beach High School, and I live in Fort Walton Beach. I will be taking on Genesis' part that goes over the struggles that these families are experiencing with fentanyl and losing their children. And not only the way that it impacted the families themselves and the children that have unfortunately passed away, but their communities and their friends, and the way that we can learn from these all too unfortunate deaths from fentanyl. When William Kiker told me about Neo, I knew that it was right up my alley. After seeing issues with drugs firsthand, I knew that I had to do something. I didn't want to just sit around and let these issues unravel. So, being able to have this opportunity to work alongside you guys and my two partners over there, I am so thankful to have this opportunity to not only speak to you guys and everybody else in this room, but to bring this to other schools and educate other students about how important it is to stay away from pills and how quickly fentanyl can take everything from you, your friends, family, and community. So thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to spread awareness and keep us and the community safe. Thank you.
Dr. White, if I can just comment to all of our speakers tonight, thank you for your passion for what you believe in. To our students that are here, what an amazing group of students that we have that put their heart into something like this. You can tell they're debate students because they know that timer. And I know Mr. Dingus teaches one of them there, right? Am I correct? And of course, Asher, I know personally, but what a testament. Thank you to all of our guest speakers that were here tonight. We appreciate your passion for what you believe in. So,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to add on to that. Josh, 2 minutes isn't enough, okay? And so I love the idea, support it fully. I had my quarterly meeting with the superintendent, and we had just talked about that. So we're going to get this going. So that's so keep it going. And Ryan is Marine Industry Association. He's backing it too with our lobbyist in Tallahassee. So thank you, and the guys that are here from the Coast Guard and Fish and Wildlife, and our outdoor education teacher in the back,
Coach Martin.
Yeah.
We are blessed to have a Coach Martin, that's for sure.
And the NEO group. William, thanks for everything you've done over the last year, and the new guys taking over. You did an excellent job.
Good? Okay. All right. So that brings us to the end of our agenda. Mr. Attorney, are we good with everything? Superintendent?
Good.
Got it all? All right, this meeting is adjourned.